Well, we're joined by HappyCabbie, who I suspect is not here to advise me as to what's the psychology of my dream of having a porn star's breasts on me when I woke up this morning. I think there's a more interesting point.
Are you sure that wasn't borrowed from Nephilim Freeze dreams?
I'll tell you why I think I had that dream. Shortly before I went to bed last night, I watched a film called Lesbian Vampire Killers. That's what I put it down to, but it was an odd dream. Can I just say, again, if you'd like to appear on the show, send a contact request to Magic Sandwich Show on Skype. At the moment, I have 4 people, I think, lined up. Firstly, Happy, who is with us now. Then I think it's Shutter, then Crew54DT, and then our good old friend Oliver wants to come on. Happy, I believe that you've got an issue that you wish to take up with me.
Well, I already talked to this issue with you a couple of days ago via Skype, but nevertheless, you said that you wanted me to bring this up on the show as well. In my opinion, I had a issue with your VenomFangX video because, in my opinion, you were using gay as an insult towards VenomFangX, and I felt that that was wrong. Subsequently, I actually talked to a lot of gay people. In fact, I even talked to gay people who didn't even know who you or VenomFangX were. And it is of their opinion that the video is just harmless fun. So it appears that although, in my opinion, the video was done in bad taste, it just appears that I'm just wrong on it.
Well, you're not entirely wrong, because a lot of people obviously expressed their displeasure with it by giving it a thumbs down. And as I say, I think it has about 35% of thumbs down, which is significantly higher than the normal that I get for my videos. But I was shocked by the response for a number of reasons. Firstly, I do not see how calling someone homosexual can be an insult. It certainly wouldn't be an insult to me. And I suspect for most people...
DPR, you're gay.
Well, yeah, you can say that. I mean, it's like, yeah, so what? I just don't...
And a paedophile.
Well, no, there's something slightly different with that, though. There is a significant difference, I think. But I simply don't see how calling someone gay can be an insult. It can only be insulting to the homophobic.
It's the way that you were using it. Now, see,
well, no, let me
like us...
Let me just finish this point, Happy. It can only be insulting, in my view, to the homophobics. The ones that think, oh, God, you're calling me gay, that's insulting. Because they, in their opinion, think that there is something derogatory about being called a homosexual. And VenomFangX certainly does. And I've made notes... Sorry, go on.
This is the thing. With VenomFangX, I don't think if he was one of the sort of Ted Haggard sort of things, I could see mileage in this. That, just that sort of out-and-out hypocrisy of, we don't have to worry about whether being homosexual is evil because it says so in the Bible. If he was one of those sorts of guys and then he's caught with the coke, not coke snorking male hooker, crystal meth. Then, sure, that's got mileage in it. But, I mean, as far as I was concerned, Venom's never really been that much of a gay basher.
Stop, because that's my point. He has been. And I'm going to read...
it's not been a hobby horse of his. I mean, he might have said once.
I'm going to read some of the things that he has said in his videos, which I noted and have tried to note verbatim. Do not tell me that he isn't anti-gay. He is a complete fucking homophobe. Right. These 3 videos, you don't have to go further. This is after his comeback at the end of last year. In Old Testament slavery and stoning, posted on the 27th of December 2010, where he starts rambling about objective and subjective morality. He says this: people, and he's referring here to homosexuals and adulterers, who were having lots that he's talking about in the olden days when the justification of stoning homosexuals. People, homosexuals and adulterers, who were having lots of free sex with multiple partners could spread STDs. God did not want to contaminate the family line of Jesus Christ, so anyone who is participating in that activity was stoned. Why? To discourage national disobedience, to keep people focused on the mission of being obedient to God and blah, blah, blah. The stakes were really high. The salvation of mankind was at stake, blah, blah, blah. He had a zero-tolerance attitude. He then goes on to say, now with Jesus, things had changed. He didn't stone an adulterer. Sinners no longer had to be stoned, but granted forgiveness upon their repentance. So, I'm sorry, just think of some of the languages.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, DPR. If you'd have cut that in back to back, now, I mean, if you'd have cut that in back to back, then it has more bite. But as it stood, it looked like. I mean, for me, VenomFangX really sets off the sort of gaydar. But as in, I know precious few men who actually pluck eyebrows and that sort of thing. But so what? It really doesn't bother me that much.
So what?
And there are bigger fish to fry.
But it will bother him, and I don't give a fucking fuck about bothering him. Happy wanted to say something. I've got many more quotes I can give you, but Happy, back to you for now.
Okay. The issue for me was the way in which you presented the video, in that you were using homosexuality as a form of criticism when it shouldn't be. For people like you and I, we recognize that, gay people should have the same rights as everybody else and stuff like that, but that you were using the accusation of being gay as a form of an attack, and that to me is wrong. But like I said, I talked to several gay people, and they saw nothing wrong with the video. So by those standards, it appears that I'm wrong.
Well, that's just you're not entirely wrong, and I'm prepared to take a criticism. I'll save you I'll save those for later if it comes necessary. But I've got literally pages and pages of homophobic stuff that he's mentioned, and I'm sorry. As I said, I don't think it's an insult, but he would. There's another issue that I think that I would pick up on, and that is that somebody suggested that I'd deliberately used negative stereotypical pictures or depictions of homosexuals. What they were referring to are the stills which were quasi-subliminally flashed on the screen. And I think I used 6 in total. One was Teg Haggart. I think it was 6, maybe 5. They were all taken from gay pride marches. Now, this is what I find interesting. Why, in the first place, point one, why do you think we need gay pride marches? If there wasn't discrimination against homosexuals, we would not need them at all. Secondly, those people that are appearing on gay pride marches are expressing themselves in a way in which they wish to and are unable to do so in everyday life because of the discrimination and bigotry that they face. So
actually,
how is that a negative image? It's a positive image. Sorry, Thunder, do go on.
Let me just cut in here and say that the least trusted group in America is the godless, so to speak, and in many senses we need a sort of atheist pride type movement, and to satisfy this, there is now a recent rally which is going on March the 24th in Washington, and this is hopefully going to be a tipping point type moment where yes, we can actually really turn around some social attitudes to the non-believers, so to speak.
Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz for this parade, do we?
Dprjones, do you believe that your video is or could have been offensive to gay people?
No, I don't. Because I don't think, I cannot understand how saying that someone is a homosexual is insulting to anyone who, other than not a closet homosexual, a homophobic closeted homosexual, like VenomFangX, in my opinion. So no, I don't, but I accept that my judgment was wrong in that I didn't think that anyone could see that video and think that it was a criticism of homosexuality. I think the depictions of homosexuals and the homosexual love scene were perfectly tasteful. I had no problem with them whatsoever. And if people did have an issue with them, then as I posted in the comments several times, I think it shows much more about themselves their prejudices and their bigotry than it does about me and what I was seeking to say in that video. So, yeah, I misjudged the zeitgeist, if you like. I didn't realise that people could possibly interpret this in the way that they obviously did.
I'm going to err on Thunder's side as far as VFX's orientation, in that, you know, there are still heterosexual homophobes. Not every person who rails against homosexuals and homosexuality, even with a religious basis, is necessarily pulling a Ted Haggard and overcompensating. Because really, the people who get caught red-handed seem to be the people who focus on that almost to the exclusion of other issues. And like Thunder said, it's not his number one priority. He just has that cursory homophobia that comes with conservative evangelical Christianity. Homophobic to ride the ride.
And also, I sounded a bit like Harold Camping then. Also, sorry. And also, I'm sorry, somebody fondling something as phallic as whatever it was, game control thing or whatever, and saying the purpose of this object is to entertain me. I mean, come on. Is that not worthy of humour?
It could be, but the need to call someone gay, it was not necessary. You could just be poking fun at the fact that he was holding up a dildo. The need to, say, oh, he's gay, that's something that you do, when you're in junior high school.
Yeah, no one seemed to object so much when I called Don Exodus gay openly and used very unflattering photographs of him and had polls. In fact, there's still a poll up now on this channel, on the Blog TV channel.
Because everybody knows that's done in jest.
What?
That's done in jest.
What's the difference?
The difference is everybody knows that you are not attacking Don Exodus. You're just,
and on top of that,
playful banter.
This is the thing. You didn't make videos about Don Exodus being gay.
I did actually.
It's like us calling you a pedophile.
And they weren't cross-cut with like 30 seconds of gay guys making out.
That's true, but I did make videos in which those images were included, and specifically called him, I think I called him YouTube's top gay icon. But he thought it was absolutely hilarious. And I have to say that, like you, Happy, the people that I've spoken to subsequent to it, who are homosexuals, and I have to say, some of these people I didn't even know were, said to me, what is all the fuss about? This is a joke.
You're doing this with Shark of God, who actually says, that, if we had gay people in the church, we would shoot them, and we would shoot them righteously and all this sort of shit. Or, Shock of God said similar things. I paraphrase, but
right, okay. So how about
if you were doing it with Shock of God, fair enough.
But I think you're being far too kind to Venom on his homophobia. How about another video he made? Again, about 10 months ago. Why morally subjective women in
10 months ago, DPR.
So
if he'd have done it last week,
here's the thing.
Ignore him.
10 months ago.
Deal with him.
If he has made videos that you object to, then you respond to those videos.
I did.
You say,
I did it in my own style, though.
But you did not advance any intellectual argument.
He says, he tries to dress it up in some nice language. No, I'm sorry. I've got the quote here. I won't bore you with reading it unless you want me to do so. He says, effectively, he doesn't say it in terms. This is why people don't appreciate just what homophobia is. He is talking here specifically about homosexuals burning in hell forever because of their sinful nature.
Yeah, and if you
that is homophobic,
then
that's
you do a video response.
What's the point of doing a normal video response to someone who never actually answers any of your videos? Part of my irritation with him is I posted a video, a question to VenomFangX, and this was 3 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. Will he respond to that one? No, of course he won't. He never responds to anything.
Hey, Thunderfoot, how many video responses have you done to me? I don't think you have. You mentioned
Right.
one video, but I think I've done 10 video responses to you. You've never, really acknowledged me. But,
Yeah.
I make videos. Sometimes I like the stuff you put out. Sometimes I don't. But you know what? You say your stuff in your videos. I say my stuff in my videos. Just because somebody doesn't post the video response back to you, it's nothing personal.
Absolutely. And, quite free. I mean, I only get to, if I can make a video a week, and that's actually going some. And, you've got to choose your targets. I mean, if you respond to things that aren't essentially, I hate to say it, Happy, and the practicalities of it is, the bottom line is there are higher priority targets out there.
That's true.
I might have, or we might agree or disagree on these things, and in private we might discuss those. But now's the sort of bad time because I just put a couple of sort of lolsy videos out. But tackling areas where religion is a significant social problem. That's about where it's at.
Yeah. And the fact that you haven't responded to most of my videos, I'm not offended by it. And Dprjones, the fact that some of your videos have not been addressed by VenomFangX, you should not be offended by it either.
It doesn't, just because he doesn't, let's face it, we're not doing it for his sake anyway. It doesn't render it a completely worthless errand to voice your opinion or do whatever.
Well, as I say, I don't know how far people want this conversation to go. If you want to make an observation, as I say, send a contact request to Magic Sandwich Show. I've seen that a couple have come in, and as I say, I've already got a few other people waiting. So
yep. I'm going to let somebody else take the spotlight now.
All right. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Happy, and always a pleasure to be insulted by you.